We're with you live here at the Daytona 500, and you're looking at Davey Allison's car number 28, which failed to fire and now is just picking up speed, carrying one of our CBS onboard cameras for our live coverage of the great American race. As he started to come out, something amiss, and he's had his troubles. Last night, in the final moments of practice, he tagged the wall at turn 2. There you see in the brown jacket, Dick Beatty, NASCAR inspector, and with him Harry Ranier, the car owner, Robert Yates, asking for permission to work on the car, which they did. At 4 o'clock this morning, they were in replacing the side panels on the machine.
Allison crashed in yesterday's practice and damaged the right front corner of the car and bent the frame. Ken, there was 105 man-hours of repair work have gone into getting this car ready since 5 o'clock last night.
There has to be some anxious moments when he goes into that first turn the first time at full speed, not knowing exactly how it's going to handle. Did they get it back together exactly the way they had it?
Everyone has their fingers crossed on that team.
Chevrolet has won this race 5 times, and there you see the number 25 of Ken Schrader on the pole. Crew chief is Harry Hyde, qualified at 193.823 miles per hour. And flanking him is 26-year-old Davey Allison, carrying one of our CBS onboard cameras. The third camera lies in the Kenny Bernstein car with Ricky Rudd, that Buick machine. All right, they're out of turn 4. Pace car is coming in from Ricky Rudd's vantage point. This is what the start of the Daytona 500 looks like, right in there behind Phil Barkdahl's car. 42 competitors, 42 cars, straining now, coming down at about 55, 60 miles an hour, and the green is unfurled. We're underway.
A nice start.
Coming up to speed for turn 1. It'll be the back straightaway before they get them all the way wound up, and Schrader jumps out in front.
But Davey Allison is able to stay with him right on the outside. Of course, he's getting help from Darrell Waltrip back there. When you can get 2 cars running together, their draft is very effective.
Right there in turn 2 is where Allison touched the wall yesterday.
But here comes Allison's first high-speed corner. With this carburetor plates, the cars really don't get up to speed till about 3/4 of a lap have gone by.
Allison to the inside. Bobby Allison scooting down low on the racetrack by 1, by 2. Here's Allison going for first place to lead the first lap. The 2-time champion out of turn number 4. Allison pressing hard, and it will be at the line. The Allisons, father and son, leading the first lap of the Daytona 500. That's Allison looking right up under the headlights of Darrell Waltrip at 190 miles per hour from that camera mounted on the back end of the car.
You know, they say this track is boulevard smooth, but look at the ripples and how sensitive these cars are to the bumps here at the Daytona International Speedway. That back straightaway only 40 feet wide.
Bobby Allison falls back. Davey Allison on the point momentarily. Here comes Waltrip. Remember that Waltrip won a qualifier, and here comes Rusty Wallace in the Pontiac, zipping around Davey Allison and going into second place. From Wallace's perspective, this is what it looks like. Up in front, Rusty Wallace charging up through the cars and now finds himself running in second spot.
Some people were saying they would not be able to pass because of the reduction in the horsepower. Well, we've already seen that theory go down the drain because there has been passing already.
Last lap at 190.6 miles per hour.
And that's faster than we anticipated. We wonder if any of these drivers have been holding back throughout all the weeks of practice and qualifying events.
Well, certainly now the chips are down. The big money is on the line. If you have anything, it's time to show it.
Checking in on Bill Elliott well back in the field as he tries to sort himself out. There's Michael Waltrip and his Pontiac on the outside. Dave Marcus, who could have a very good day today, and that number 71 as they come traipsing up through the field. Back with the leaders. Darrell Waltrip is on the point with his Chevrolet. Pontiac is in second. Rusty Wallace. It's Bobby Allison in third. Davey Allison in fourth. Let's check in on Richard Petty's car number 43 here as he comes up through from 34th position from whence he started.
Petty had some high-powered company back there behind 30th position. Bill Elliott started in 31st, and Cale Yarborough, a 2-time winner of this race, started in 32nd position because of problems they had in Thursday's qualifying rounds. And the fans, these drivers and their legion, are watching them, hoping they'll come to the front.
And Richard Petty did not get off to a very good start. As a matter of fact, his group, he's in a group of 4 cars that has sort of lost the lead draft.
42 automobiles back to the line, and as they come to the stripe, Late Speed is pulling a bit of a surprise. He's up into fourth. They come back across. Look at those cars, 3 and 4 wide behind the front automobiles. Davey Allison trailing that front quintet. And then look at this massive equipment rolling into turn number 1 at 190 miles an hour.
And Ken, while those cars race for 6th back through about 30th position, there are 5 cars that have been able to pull away a little bit. When 2 cars run side by side, the others run single file, it gives them an advantage.
You know, the drivers, even though it's 190 miles an hour, they consider it slow, and 3 abreast, really, you don't see that this often. There's some frustrations have been evidenced by the drivers here. They just can't seem to get the speed out of the cars they're used to when they want due to the restricted engines.
As they come back to the line, Waltrip leads. Wallace is in second, Allison in third, Lake Speed in fourth, David Allison fifth, Greg Sachs is in sixth, Bobby Hillen maintains the 7th position. Dale Earnhardt still sorting himself out, getting up to the field.
Dale is going to be very careful for a while, as are a lot of the drivers, because they know it is a long race. As Bill Elliott says, you can't take chances this early in the race. You want to sort of sort the competition out, sort your own car out, see how it's handling in the air from the draft of other cars. So the smart ones will do that.
It's 1 and 7/10 seconds between 5th car and 6th car on the field from Ricky Rudd, who is following Rick Wilson out here in this field, down into the turn. Now, Wilson is running on Hoosier tires today, Chris. 9 of those cars out there have that rubber.
And not only that, Wilson is in his backup car. He crashed last week, and he injured his knee. He's got a swollen left knee. He's not comfortable at all, but he's been going like a bomb since he moved into this backup car.
He crashed in turn number 2, right from the bottom of the track, right into the wall at 190 miles per hour. Very lucky he didn't get broken up. He did wipe out that car, and it is the backup car you see him in. Now, here's Waltrip. Remember that Waltrip led all the way in the 125-mile qualifier, and that's some feat. The last time it was done, 1960, when both Fireball Roberts and Jack Smith led from green to checkers.
And Ken, one way that he was able to lead 125 miles was keeping his car right down on the bottom of the racetrack, and we can see that that car is still working in the same manner today.
Schrader leading that second pack of automobiles. Driving a very deliberate race. He's willing to back it up a little. Greg Sachs is running side by side with him there in the number 50. Pontiac and Chevrolet wheel to wheel. That second group of machines. Lake Speed being challenged. The purple car on the outside, a little high, and Bobby Allison down low. Allison put on a master performance in the Thursday 125-mile qualifier. That's the new GM10 body, and probably the best one working here. Those Chevrolet Monte Carlos have had a lot of experience in this track. Rusty Wallace appears to be right where he wants to be, just lying in wait in second place here in the early laps. 7 are complete of the 200 to be run.
I think that Wallace wants to hook up with Waltrip and pull away from the balance of the field. 2 cars together should be able to do this.
Waltrip has just been relegated from 1st to 5th as the draft overwhelmed him. And it was at that point Rusty Wallace and Allison that led it through, and now Allison is broken away, and you can see the number 27 falling back. Now here's the second flock of automobiles, and in that group lies the B1 Bomber, as he calls it, the stealth machine, number 3 of Dale Earnhardt, pulling up into 6th position as he sorted himself out in the early going. Earnhardt definitely on the charge. He finished second in his 125-mile qualifier and said, "We ran second. That's no good."
That's right, and he's a good bit behind. You know, the drivers complained earlier this week about having to keep their foot on the gas all the way around, lap after lap, and Earnhardt said he had a cramp in his leg after he won the Clash last Sunday, which was only 20 laps long. I wonder if that'll be a problem in the race today.
It could be. There's one car that was running up in the front pack that's in trouble. Morgan Shepherd is on pit road. He coasted into the pit. Something wrong with his Buick.
That's a car that didn't get much testing back in December and January, and looks like it's going to be the first retiree out of the race, and that is a second car also coming out at this point. Car number 86 is falling by the wayside, which would be Rick Jeffrey, the Prospect, Kentucky runner. Now there's Shepard's car back by the filling station. 12 laps, 13 complete this time by. Allison, Bobby out in front. Allison, Davey in second. Lake Speed in third. Waltrip to fourth. Rusty Wallace in fifth. Schrader is back to sixth. And Earnhardt falls to seventh. Here's Mike Joy on pit road.
I'm with the crew chief of the Rusty Wallace number 27 car, Barry Dodson. Barry, this looked like a checkers game. Rusty sat behind Darrell, waited till Bobby came up and said, "King me," and off they went. Now he's back to the back of the pack again. You need a partner out there, don't you?
Yeah, you got to have a partner, probably two. You know, the Kodiak Mobil 1 Pontiac's running good. I'm just sitting here giving lap times. Harold Elliott, the guys in the motor room, they did their job. Jimmy Maycar's got the chassis working. Bobby Allison's real strong. We're just going to try to find us a buddy and hang on.
So they're trying their moves now to see what may work later in the race. Ken, I think we'll see a lot of that jumping around in the early laps.
I don't think I can remember a 500, gentlemen, where one driver, Bobby Allison, has been so heavily favored going into the competition. There's a scintillating drive in his 125-mile race, his long years of experience. He's starting his 25th 500 right now, and he's even money, said this morning newspapers, and the heavy favorite today.
Well, my sense is it's among those lead cars, the car right there of Bobby Allison, Darrell Waltrip, and Rusty Wallace to decide it all this afternoon, Ned.
And Bill Elliott keeps picking his way up through the field. He's certainly not to be counted out of this thing because he does have the winning experience.
Look at Waltrip run right on the bottom of the racetrack through turn number 4 and back into the straightaway area here, that short straight, 1,600 feet before the 18-degree bank tri-oval, which is the most difficult turn on the track right here, Chris.
So that's an interesting observation. Most people would think the steep turns at either end of this track are the more difficult, but this 18-degree high-speed, flat-out start-finish line corner has traditionally been the toughest for any kind of racing car, be it a stock car or a sports car. The reason being the cars get light going through it, and they don't want to handle properly. And some say the only place to pass with the reduced horsepower, the best place, is at this dangerous point, the start-finish line.
The Allisons, father and son, run first and second. As to Davey Allison's car and its condition, as Waltrip makes a move on the inside and begins to pull by. Will he get through here into turn 4? He's up 1. He and Wallace on the inside trying to overwhelm those leaders. And in that tri-oval, he falls back a little. Let's see if we can find out just what the condition on Davey Allison's car is as we watch this battle continue up in front. David?
Well, after a long night of work, this crew is now feeling some anxiety. Davey fell back to 5th, feeling out the car, has charged back to 2nd. Robert Yates, what's he telling you on the radio?
Well, the car's a little bit tight, but we knocked the right side off of it and had to repair the whole right side, and the problem was trying to get the clearance just right. We got the right fronts rubbing a little bit, so first pit stop, we'll have to do a little work on the fender.
Any danger that rubbing fender might cut that tire before the pit stop?
Well, if it's on the flat, hopefully not. We think maybe it's over on the edge and won't be disturbing that. We'll just have to watch it real close.
He's obviously driving it pretty hard.
Car's working pretty good.
I would say so. He's right back up where he started, but there is a rubbing fender on the right front tire, the damaged side of Davey Allison's car. Ken?
After 14 laps, David, the standings look like this. As we watch Davey Allison press on the inside and pull up beside his father, Allison against Allison, father against son, and the son goes out in front. And here comes Waltrip back in again. Hold the phone, don't want to go anywhere. This is just too good to miss. Here's Darrell Waltrip down on the inside, challenging. He's coming up. He's going for the lead. Remarkable, Chris.
It's amazing that Waltrip's car works so well down low on the track and has the poke to come out of the corners.
And I think as the day goes on, that will be more to his advantage as the track gets a little bit slicker. If you can keep the car down low on the racetrack, it'll definitely be to your advantage.
You see that car on that 18-degree bank lean to the right, and even before you get out of the corner, it switches back as the wind gets it a little there.
Certainly the wind moves the cars around when you're running these speeds and running that close to other cars.
Steve Moore just getting lapped, and there's a smoker in the back straightaway. That's the Roush car, that new Ford, number 6. Mark Martin out of Arkansas, the driver for Jack Roush, and the engine is expiring in the early going. That could bring out the first caution of the day. Yellow is on the track. It comes out as we reach the 20th lap. At lap 20, first caution of the day. The speed at the end of the first 10 laps was 189, and that compares to a 199 by Bill Elliott back in 1985. 189.076, the record 199 is Elliott's record of 85, and with that restrictor plate, that shows you that they brought him down 10 miles per hour.
Exactly. You know, this yellow flag is a great break for Davey Allison to get that right front tire change, whatever's wrong. The Goodyear people tell me that at speed here, these 3,500-pound cars with the downforce created by the air, the right front of the corner weighs 8,700 pounds in the turn.
That's a lot of weight. We'll be back with more in a moment.
Drivers, including Darrell Waltrip, took advantage of the first yellow flag to pit. After the restart, Connie Saylor brought out the second caution of the day at the 100-mile mark. The average speed at this point was only 167.209 miles per hour. Let's rejoin the 1988 Daytona 500 in the 45th lap.
The lap is 45 that's being completed as we prepare for resumption of the Daytona 500 with Darrell Waltrip up in front. In the second position is Schrader, the pole sitter. He'd like to get out and lead a lap here.
Yes, he would. He's in position now to do it in second place as Darrell Waltrip takes him down into turn 1.
Neil Bonnet riding third and Bobby Allison in fourth. The lap cars, the slower cars on the bottom of the racetrack, and single file on the outside are the cars in the lead lap. And as Chris told you, there's 29 of them up there. Now here from Davey Allison's vantage point, he pulls up from well out and back on Ricky Rudd's automobile as they scoot into the back straightaway.
Notice how steady his hands are on the wheel. No shaking back and forth. It's really a stable car.
And from the rear bumper camera, get this view going down into turn number 3 and up onto the 31-degree banking. Mighty steep out there.
It's waving bye-bye to them.
It's a blue world. Here they come back to the line with car number 17 in that front position, and Davey Allison way toward the back of this group, running outside the top 25 right now.
One of the hardest working people at this racetrack is the person that operates the scoreboard. The positions don't stay fixed very long. Bobby Allison and the Buick number 12 has moved to third place behind Waltrip and Schrader, their Chevrolets, and he's coming.
Ken, to show you how important pit work is, the first and second place cars were first before this caution. Sterling Marlin and Lake Speed are now running 18th and 19th after their pit stop.
As we've said all week, Ned, this race, as much as on the racetrack, will be decided by those pit crews today. Those that can get in and get out quickly are going to be the ones up in front because it's better than 200 feet. We've got a crash in turn 4 again. A car spinning, slithering, slamming into the wall. And it looks like Cale Yarborough's car. Indeed, Cale Yarborough's machine has socked the wall. It spun a couple of times, then nailed it. And it's going to bring out the third caution of the day.
Cale has had a very tough time here at Daytona this week. He, of course, spun out in the 125-mile qualifying race, did some damage to the rear of his 88 Oldsmobile. They repaired it, got him back in there. Of course, he had the flat tire earlier, got back into the state in the lead lap, went back out and was near the pack, into the pack, trouble now.
Racing back to the line. They have not come back and taken that official caution flag as yet, and here they come to the stripe. And at the line, it is Waltrip as Dave Marcus tried to make up a lap.
That's right. You know, we talked earlier about the aerodynamic qualities of these new cars, these new downsized cars. They've been in the wind tunnel time and again to try and get them to work good out here on the racetrack, and it's been a problem for many of them.
Cale Yarborough being administered to by his crew. This is what happened to car number 29, the 4-time winner of this classic.
The back end just goes out from under him, whether he has a tire going down, Ken, or the air caused the car to just loop around.
And remember that same kind of thing happened to him the other day down here in turns 1 and 2.
You know, this is the third time for Yarborough. A few years ago, he was the one who climbed up on the air and turned over for no apparent reason. He's really had difficult luck here at Daytona in recent seasons.
Unfortunate for Cale. He's standing by with Dave Despain.
Let's find out if it was the same situation as Thursday when the air came off the back of the car and set you spinning. What happened this time?
Well, I blew a rear tire this time. I guess I must have run over something on the racetrack from that wreck that just happened down there. tire blew coming off turn forward, and just nothing you can do about it.
They're getting ready to make a movie of your life story. They're not going to start it with this episode, are they?
Well, I certainly hope not. I hope they leave this week out.
One more quick question. There's talk now about when you're actually going to hang it up. Does a week like you've had here at Daytona make you think, heck, I'm not going back down there anymore?
Well, no, I've had them like this before, and we come back strong, and we'll be back strong again.
Cale Yarborough out of the race, blown tire.
Following the restart after the Yarborough crash, Bobby Allison led the field. But now, with over 70 laps completed, let's head back to the Daytona Speedway, where Darrell Waltrip is steadily making his way to the front.
Here's Waltrip hanging on. He's got a good draft here. I wonder if he really wants to go by or if he'll just stay with Rusty Wallace and let the two of those people try to find their way up through. He needs to get by. In fact, they have pulled up on the second, third, and fourth place cars. They have pulled up on number 3, Earnhardt, number 75 in third, Bonnet, and the fourth place car, number 33, Gant. Now that's the Waltrip speed in the last lap, 196.77. And that really is the speed of that pack in overwhelming the cars of Earnhardt, Bonnet, and Harry Gant.
We should get a speed on leader Bobby Allison now in the number 12 car to see how they compare. He's out there all alone, punching a hole in the air without any assistance, and he has a lead of over 100 yards.
Now look at this flock just behind Bobby Allison's number 12. There you see them. And I believe that Waltrip is making a move to the inside and taking another spot right here. He pulls Rusty Wallace back another position, and he's up on Harry Gant. Wouldn't it be something if these two drivers, Bobby Allison and Darrell Waltrip, who had such superb afternoons in the 125-mile qualifiers, those 30-minute dashes usually, get out here to sort it out before the afternoon is over. Both were exuding confidence all week. Here is Harry Gant running in fourth, being challenged by Darrell Waltrip. Both of them would like to get things turned around. Their seasons last year were not what they wanted them to be.
That's right. They're both in the Chevrolet Monte Carlo, a body style that's been raced for a couple of years now and are comfortable to the drivers, whereas Allison is one of the new Buicks, one of the short cars, but he's really got that one figured out.
Here's Allison still with a pretty good lead, but I think that interval is being chopped into now by the freight train that's overwhelming him. Here they come, back to complete 78 laps of 200.
Well, his speed was not nearly as high as Darrell Waltrip's was a moment ago.
And that pack of cars, so they are catching up. Bobby Allison's day in the sun all by himself may be gone shortly. But I'm amazed he can stay out there as he is all by his lonesome with Earnhardt, Bonnet, all these people who are so good in the draft. Always two cars together two cars together can run much faster than one car by itself. Of course, the speeds have increased with the tires on these cars. They changed the weight a little. There's just so much more technology now. Take a look at the speeds as they've come up. 1973, 187.
Went all the way up in 1986 to 209, then 87 to 212. Was dropped back down this year as a result of the carburetor restrictor plate.
16.5 miles an hour off the pole speed this year from last.
Here's Bill Elliott back there with Sterling Marlin in the field. They're well back. They're out of that first group completely. I'd say they're running in 25th or worse at this point.
Dale Earnhardt, the leader of the second group behind number 1 runner Bobby Allison, is closing the interval. Allison had over 100 yards on that pack. It's cut down to about 50 yards now as they're coming on.
That interval shrinking at turn 2. Bobby Allison, the two-time winner there. Earnhardt, he's never won this thing. The man behind him, Neil Bonnet, he's looking for his first win. Gant, he too would like to see his name up on a Daytona 500. And of course, Darrell Waltrip, who's won, 12 events here, has never won this 500. Darrell Waltrip has the 1-inch restrictor plate made this race more of a driver's race than a horsepower game?
I feel like as a driver now, I can do more than I could before. Now, instead of a guy just blasting by me with a burst of speed and a lot of horsepower, he's got to think his way around me. He's got to drive his way around me. So I might be able to do something as a driver with my car, move, change lanes, change lines, go high, go low. A lot of things I might be able to do now to help me win a race, where before it's just brute power and a guy slung shot by you and you were history.
Bobby Allison getting caught up here. Here's Earnhardt. Look at that car nuzzle down to the bottom of the racetrack and stay right there. And Allison's taking a very high line.
Much higher than he was earlier, whether his tires are heating up a little bit, but he is definitely taking a higher line, and that's costing him some speed, Ken.
Meanwhile, Darrell Waltrip is closing on the inside. Here's Waltrip down to the bottom of Neil Bonnet, and he's ready to go for third.
We have some reporters here from Europe, Adriano Cimarosti from Switzerland, and they can't get over the competition, the intensity of it compared with Formula One racing.
Dead heat for third position into the back straightaway, as continuing to lead is Allison, but not by much over Dale Earnhardt. 205 miles completed here with the standings at 82 laps, with Bobby Allison out in front, Earnhardt in second, Waltrip in third, Neil Bonnet in fourth, Harry Gant in fifth. Looking a little further back in the field, we saw that in sixth place at that time was Rusty Wallace. In seventh was Jeff Bodine. Terry Labonte in eighth. Let me correct something here. Bill Elliott has really moved up. He is into ninth, and he was only back in 11th, not in 25th earlier. Sterling Marlin in 10th, and in positions 10 through 15, perhaps.
And green flag pit stops are coming up. Bobby Allison and Dale Earnhardt have come down pit road.
Let's go to Dave Despain, because the action is on pit road.
Leader Bobby Allison into the pits, the team putting the gas in, and a minor adjustment on the rear spoiler, that rear wing, which controls the aerodynamic flow across the back of the car and holds it onto the racetrack. Allison was calling on the radio as the field were reeling him in, saying, guys, I got to have more wing. They're all over me out here. I got to get the car to grip. Crew chief Jimmy Fennig consulting with the crew. Jimmy, was he calling for the adjustment on that wing, and why?
Yeah, he was just a little bit loose, so we put a couple degrees rear spoiler in there.
Is that a big or a little adjustment?
Yeah, right now it's just a little one.
Otherwise, how is the guy that everybody's calling the favorite here? You look strong, or are you going to win this thing from here?
Well, it's got a long ways to go, and right now we're sitting pretty good, but like I say, a long ways to go.
Jimmy Fennig, crew chief for Bobby Allison, and we anticipate that Dale Earnhardt will be bringing his Chevrolet down pit road momentarily.
Dave, he did just bring his Chevrolet down pit road when Bobby Allison came in, and he beat Bobby Allison out of the pits by about 2 seconds.
Meanwhile, the leader with 87 laps complete is number 17. Darrell Waltrip has gone out in front. Here's Wallace on pit road and scooting back out again. In the second spot is the number 75. That's Neil Bonnet. And up to third is Jeff Bodine in the 5. He's right there. That's the interval between second and third. The fourth place man, Harry Gant, and now Bodine is pitting. So this will mean Waltrip stays first, Bonnet stays second, and the third place car, I believe, is number 11 at this time. That will put Terry Labonte into third.
We're going to see who the mileage masters are now. We're wondering about how many miles you can get out of a tank full of fuel under green flag running. We're finding out now.
There's Bill Elliott in. Green flag pit stop. Rick Wilson pitting. Harry Gant is on pit road. 88 laps have been completed. Car number 9. And car number 5 breaks just a hair in front of him as they come out. Bodine out a tickle quicker. Rick Wilson is in for some time on car number 4. Meanwhile, those two leaders complete another lap and show no signs of wanting any service from the pits. 17 the leader, Darrell Waltrip, and Neil Bonnet in the 75. Now here's Terry Labonte in. Had been in third, and this will scramble the field momentarily. Terry Labonte in. Here's Mike Joy.
Kyle Petty brings the Wood Brothers car to pit road, and this 30th anniversary Daytona 500 is still a treat to watch the Wood Brothers go to work. They've been here a long, long time, and Leonard changes the right front tire as he's done for many years, and still has the agility to hop across in front of that race car. The older brother, Glenn Wood, a winning NASCAR driver in the 40s, and he still calls the shots for that team here on pit road.
And Mike, that car has not been running up to par for the last 30 or so laps. He had gone a lap down to the leaders. It sounds like he was only running maybe on about 7 cylinders. You might check on that with the Wood Brothers while you're there.
These are the pressure stops for the pitman.
Darrell Waltrip leading, Neil Bonnet is second, Sterling Marlin third, Davey Allison fourth, Buddy Baker in fifth. In sixth, Ken Schrader. And then seventh is A.J. Foyt, who is now just pitting. Then eighth is Alan Kowicki, and Ricky Rudd is on pit road. Rudd has stayed in that lead lap, but has been not able to get up in that front pack throughout the day.
Now remember, Darrell Waltrip made a pit stop during the last caution. He and Kenny Schrader were the only two. They were running first and second. They made a pit stop, so they have a little more fuel. Plus the fact that both of those drivers went a full 125 miles here on Thursday on a tank of fuel.
Pit road as Ricky Rudd leaves that area. A.J. Foyt right behind him. Back into action.
25 cars on the lead lap, which is a remarkably tight race as we come up on the 200-mile mark.
But as you said, Chris, this stop under green will separate some of those people because some drivers get in and get out faster, and those pit crews, they can cost you dearly if they're not really ready. And Dale Earnhardt won that battle hands down by better than a second and a half over almost anyone else that pitted.
That Kurt Shelmadine led crew is superb. The speed of the race at this point, 162.7 miles an hour. That's 16 miles an hour off the record set by Bill Elliott back in 1985.
178, that mark. Here's the number 44, which had been running in third, Sterling Marlin pitting, and the second place car is on pit road directly in front of him. There is Neil Bonnet's number 75. You got to think that he's driving in pain out here, Ned. That leg was not broken, it was shattered right at the hip in that crash he had last year, but he'll never admit to it. 15 and 8/10 seconds, he's underway.
Good pit stop for him as they change tires and fill it up with gasoline. Well, Ken, I'm not sure that he would have pain right now in the race car. Once that green flag drops, all of that sort of leaves you, even if you had pain before the race did start. Chris?
It's amazing the physiological things that happen to a racing driver. Wilbur Shaw in Indianapolis many years ago gashed his hand the day before the race, had a deep cut in his thumb. He drove the 500-mile races and he won, and when the race was over, the cut was healed.
Same thing happened to Ned Jarrett. Same identical thing, right, Ned, years ago?
Yes, in my early sportsman days back in the late 50s. Healed within about 36 hours from the time they sewed it up. Amazing.
Number 17, Waltrip, continues to make the Daytona 500 an economy run. We'll see how much longer he can last shortly. Here's the man one of the men that stands out at this point in the race. Bobby Allison in the number 12, reported in second position.
Darrell Waltrip did maintain the lead after his pit stop, Ken, and he's got a pretty good lead now over Bobby Allison. Looks to be about 4 or 5 seconds on the racetrack.
If he's getting 25 more miles out of a tank full than anyone else, he's going to win this race on pit stops, on fuel economy. That's a remarkable advantage.
It really is. It could mean that he can make one less pit stop than the others.
I don't think that's accurate. I believe that the scoring has switched that around.
Well, one thing, as we pointed out earlier, he did stop during that last caution, and some of the others did not, so he had several laps right there.
Gave him that advantage. Give him that lead by 4 seconds then, and put Bobby Allison in second with Dale Earnhardt in third. With fourth place now belonging to the number 75 of Neil Bonnet, and Rusty Wallace is back there in fifth. Boy, that's incredible if he's getting that kind of range.
It really is, and he's running hard. To get that kind of mileage, you sort of have to take it easy. Let's see what the interval between leader Darrell Waltrip and challenger Bobby Allison is at this point, and whether one is pulling away or the other is gaining.
Darrell Waltrip and Davey Allison both pitted on lap 96. Davey stretched out the range in that car too, and I think they both had been in earlier at the same time in that caution period.
That is true.
Dale Earnhardt is right behind within 3 car lengths of Allison, and they need to get in the draft if they want to find. There's the number 12, and right behind him on the bottom side of the racetrack. And notice where Allison is still staying high all the time, Chris, and Earnhardt is making that Richard Childress car work right on the bottom.
The last time by, Allison was 4 and 43 100-seconds behind Waltrip. We'll see whether that high groove and those high revs that his engine is running at is getting the job done and closing the gap.
Number 75 is the fourth place car. On pit road, they're watching those laps, see if there's any advantage. Coming to halfway. Coming to halfway this time by. And as they come to the strike, Earnhardt and number 75 Bonnet trailing behind Bobby Allison in the second position. He's about 5 laps down to that leader, or 5 seconds down to that leader. Number 17, Darrell Waltrip.
The watch says that Allison is losing 1/10 of a second a lap to Waltrip right now.
Looked like he might have backed up to car number 3 in 75 as well. Here's Waltrip. Very lonesome cowboy out here at this time.
He likes that. You remember on Thursday after the interview in Victory Lane, Dave Despain asked him about running in front all the way in the 125-mile race, and he said, what's that going to do? Are you going to be able to run in traffic? Going to be able to race with anybody? He said, I don't intend to race with anybody. And by golly, he's not having to right now.
There's 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Wallace back in 5th. Then in the 6th position, Bodine. 7th is Gann. 8th is Terry Labonte. There you see Bill Elliott back in the 11th position. Let's go to Mike Joy.
Last tank of gasoline, Darrell Waltrip ran 47 laps. That's 117 miles. And Jeff Hammond, that's a couple of laps less than you had to run Thursday to win that qualifying race. How much farther could you have gone if you'd had to?
Well, Mike, right now, it's kind of one of those situations I don't really know. And I just decided at this point in time of the race, we had a lot of racing left to go, and I didn't want to take a chance to get way behind. We've been working real hard. Darrell's been driving a real fine race to get us back up to the lead, and we wanted to make sure we kept it there. So we're just playing a little bit conservative right now. We've got a little bit of advantage over the rest of the competitors by a few laps, so we'll just try to build on that.
And we know they can go 125 miles. They did it Thursday. How much farther than that remains to be seen.
Harry Gannon 7th, Terry Labonte 8th, Phil Parsons in 9th, Sterling Marlin 10th, Elliott is in 11th, and running in 12th is Ken Schrader with 13th, Buddy Baker, and 14th, Davey Allison with 15th, Richard Petty.
Maybe we can find out what kind of fuel mileage Bobby Allison got last time around with the number 12 Buick and compare these things. The Thursday races were interrupted by caution flags and really are not a good yardstick of fuel mileage because they cruised around for many laps, not burning too much fuel. 117 miles is excellent fuel mileage here at Daytona.
As compared to last year.
Exactly. 100 miles was considered good then.
163 mile an hour average at halfway, 250 miles. Now that compares to the record of 179 by Bill Elliott's Ford in 1985. The restrictor doing its job here. And we still have 23 cars at halfway in the lead lap, Chris.
That's remarkable. You know, when you look at the cars, you never know they're not going 205 miles an hour.
No, you sure can't. It makes the competition that much better, and it takes the edge off some of the risk. Certainly not all of it.
Right, and it's a safer race as well.
Here's the field with 17, Waltrip trying to commandeer his first Daytona 500.
Trouble.
Okay, a terrible crash. Richard Petty's car has turned over 7 or 8 times coming off turn 4 and was just struck by another car. It's one of the most violent accidents we've ever seen at the Daytona International Speedway here as leader Darrell Waltrip squeezes through. Petty's car nosed into the wall and then went sideways and barreled end over end and then side over side time after time. A terrible accident involving the man who has won this race 7 times over the years. Alan Kulwicki in car number 7 was involved. His car is limping towards the pits, and there is the damaged number 43 STP Pontiac of Richard Petty out there on the track. It was really happened at one of the highest speed sections on the track, and we trust that Petty is okay in the car. Phil Barkdahl was involved in number 73. And we're trying to identify which other car. There's number 23, Eddie Bierschwal, Jeff Bodine in car number 15, and of course, Richard Petty, the man who has won 200 races in NASCAR events. 50-year-old grandfather from Randleman, North Carolina, is still in the car as a safety man, and the ambulance crews are out there now trying to minister to his needs.
It was one of the worst accidents we've seen here in quite a while, Chris. As you can see, the damage to the back of the car. Now the safety people are there as the other cars weave their way through. This is Trevor Boyes in car number 20.
Eddie Bierschwal.
Eddie Bierschwal in car number 23. He hit the wall very hard with the back of his car.
And it looks as though Bierschwal is okay. They don't seem to be concerned themselves too. But parts of Petty's Pontiac are all over the racetrack. It's going to take a long, long time to clean up this damage as they're running the cars through the pits now.
Because of the debris,
right,
debris
of all
on
the debris.
racetrack.
So the racetrack has moved down to pit road now from the track itself due to the debris that has come off of Petty's cars that crashed over and over and over after hitting the outside wall at high speed.
Most of the drivers are, as they're coming down pit road, making pit stops, as they normally do on caution flags.
107 laps complete. Let's take a look in replay at what has happened out of turn 4.
Richard Petty was running in a pack of cars, and the back end starts to go around, and looks like he might have been tagged by the car number 73 of Phil Barkdahl, and you can see Petty's car just cramming and turning over up against the wall, and other cars coming in. There's Barkdahl hitting him as he came by, and the Eddie Beerswall car hitting one of the tires that came off the car.
From another angle. That looks like the crash at Darlington years ago, Ned.
Fortunately, it was staying on the nose of the car for so long, Ken, so it didn't look like it was really taking hard bounces down onto the pavement.
And it dispels some of the energy. You must remind the viewers that these cars are built to take these kind of crashes. And there's Phil Barkdahl hitting the cement wall right in front of us. The chrome ollie frames that serve as a roll cage up under the roof to keep the car from crushing down on the driver.
Well, there you see the remains of car number 43, Richard Petty's brand new car being taken in the ambulance. We'll try to give you an update on his condition just as soon as possible. Here's where it began. Richard Petty, who first came here in 1959, and this, I believe, is the most serious crash he's ever had in this race.
Beerswall's pushing in there.
Yeah. Or Barkdahl.
That's Barkdahl's car going backwards there to car number 73. And Petty's car remains up against the wall, and you can see both tires fly off the car, and other cars coming in now hitting the...
That's what worries me, is that second crash. That was Brett Bodine with no place to go, and Brett making a solid hit on car number 43 spinning.
Petty's car very high up in the air, however, the front was still almost on the pavement. And you see both tires, front tires, fly off the car there almost simultaneously.
J.J. Foyt and Rick Wilson came by, made it through safely while the car was turning over.
So even though, as you pointed out a few moments ago, Chris, they reduced the speed, that does not make them that much safer.
Now the car was way up in the air as well. It was surprising that it climbed that high in the air.
See Kyle Petty coming down pit road. Dale Jarrett was right behind in that group of cars we see back there. Dale made a left turn down pit road and was able to avoid the trouble. Naturally, I had my eye on him.
Notice the spectators moving away there, the officer going back from the fence.
And that's another reason that spectators, wherever they're at, if they're watching today and planning on going to a race, don't ever get down close to the fence on the racetrack. Stay as far away back as you can.
There's Eddie Beerswell's car, and there are the remains of car number 43, Richard Petty. Crew Chief Dale Inman. We'll try to give you an update on Richard Petty just as soon as possible. We're back with you live at the Daytona International Speedway alongside Ned Jarrett, Chris Economaki. Working the pits today, it's Mike Joy and Dave Despain. We are under caution after a major accident in turn 4. Here's the latest report on Richard Petty. He has a broken right ankle, is in stable condition, and is being taken to the Halifax hospital. The other drivers involved in the incident, Alan Kowicki, Phil Barkdahl, Eddie Beerswell, Brett Bodine, and A.J. Foyt, have been released from the Infield Medical Center here at the Daytona International Speedway. Now, in further news, the press room is reporting that no one was hurt in the grandstand area as that car rocketed along the fence. No one hurt in the grandstand area. Now let's get the story from Brett Bodine.
Brett Bodine, you were among the cars that slammed into Richard Petty. Your view of what happened?
Well, when I came off the fourth turn, it was just a junkyard out there, and I tried to take the low line through the wreck, and just as I made a commitment to go low, I cut a right rear tire down. The car started turning sideways, and Richard come off the wall, and I couldn't control the car and run into him.
At that point, there was just junk all over the place down there.
Yeah, it was just pieces laying everywhere, and just unfortunate that we ended up hitting him again. He'd already taken a bunch of licks before I got there, and we tried to miss everything, but unfortunately we couldn't miss him when he come off the wall.
Still a bit of a madhouse down here. Thank you, Brett. Phil Barkdahl also involved out there. Your second year of tough luck down here at Daytona. First of all, you're okay.
Well, I'm all right. I'm sorry about the deal that happened to Richard, but that's racing. But I'm just very sorry about that.
What did you see? How did it happen?
Well, I don't know if I got tagged. I know Richard started turning, and I tagged him in the back, and it started a situation where he got in the wall, or got upside down and got in the wall. But we were all bunched up there together, and I don't know if something happened to his car, but when he slowed to turn or something anyway, I hit him. I know I touched him in the back and started to. I don't know if I started, but helped the situation that was going on there. I looked at Mayor, and he's upside down, and I was worried about him more than I was worried about myself.
You two were right together on Thursday when he got loose too. Is there something about the air on the back of his car? Did you notice any handling problem with it?
I don't think that that's a deal. I just think it's a deal that we're all in that corner together, and if his car got loose, he'll probably have to tell you about that more than I can. I'm just sorry that it happened, and I was involved in it, and the other drivers too that were running good. We was running good, and I know Richard was running good, and it's just one of those bad deals in racing. I hope nobody got hurt in the stands. I know some stuff went up in there, but we're worried about that also.
Word from there is that all the fans are okay, and we're going to go down pit road now to Mike Joy.
Dave, we're back at the garage area with Eddie Bierschwale's car. Buddy Parrott is the man with the hammer. He's the crew chief. As soon as he heard his driver was okay, he said from 500 feet away, this thing's not that bad. We can fix it and get back in the race. The damage is largely cosmetic. Let's take a look inside and see what protects these drivers from serious injury. In addition to the roll cage and the padding, new to NASCAR racing in the last couple of years is this metal seat. It's padded and vinyl covered, but even where it wraps around, this seat is designed to bend in case of an injury, an impact. And if that seat gives, the driver's bone structure doesn't have to. Eddie walked away from this crash, and he'll be back here to drive this car again if they can get it repaired. Here's David Hobbs.
With me, I've got Alan Kulwicki, who was always involved in that accident. You didn't actually tag one of the cars. You had a cut tire, right?
That's right. The accident happened ahead of us. We were slowing down. I really thought I'd make it through. I went in between two cars, but I ran over some debris and blew the right front tire out, and the car just went into the wall.
Well, all your crew have descended on the car like dervishes. You going to try and get back in the race?
Yes, we are. The car's hurt fairly badly. It'll never be the same, but it's a long season, and if we can pick up any points at all, it'll help later on in the season.
I see they're changing suspension as well as sheet metal. I mean, how much have you got to do to the car?
Well, it bent both of the A-frames for sure, and the steering linkage and all that will have to be replaced, but we'll try to get it running, and just too bad anytime you wreck here. The Xerox Amoco 4 Thunderbird was running pretty good for us, and it's just too bad we got involved in that.
Well, there's Alan Kulwicki, rookie 2 years ago. Let's go back up to Ken upstairs.
114 laps as they come by this time. They continue to work on the fences up here. About 20 feet of fence has been torn up by car number 53 as it went side over side along the fence. Let's go to Dave Despain.
We have seen the damage to Eddie Bierschwale's car. The good news is there doesn't appear to be a whole lot of damage to Eddie Bierschwale. Eddie, you okay?
Well, I'm okay, Dave. Yes, the car's tore up.
You were right in the thick of it, apparently. Your view of what happened.
Well, not really. I wasn't really in the thick of it. I was behind the whole thing. I had the whole thing missed, and I run over a piece of debris and cut a tire down on the Wayne Page Oldsmobile. And when it cut the blew the right rear, I was on the brakes hard. Left brakes grabbed, and I shot right down to Brett. Knocked Brett into Richard, and I hit Richard. So it's just a bad day for the Wayne Page and Olds. We had it really running good, and then we had a good week, though.
Well, this may be good news for you. I hear they're down there working on your car. They may think this yellow is going to be long enough to get you back out there. You wanted to go drive it a few more laps?
We're ready. Yeah.
Okay, well, Eddie Bierschwale says, hey, I've still got some hours left in me today. He'll head back down to his pit to check on his car in what looks like it might be an extended yellow.
Again, updating, Richard Petty's condition is reported as stable, and he is suffering a broken right ankle and has been taken to the Halifax hospital. The other drivers involved have all been released. Let's look again at what happened here moments ago at lap 106 of the Daytona 500.
And Phil Barkdahl did say that he hit Petty, whether Petty had slowed a little bit, where the car got out of shape a little bit, but once he did hit him again, and it sent the car up in the air, then it got on its nose as it got against the fencing and continued to barrel roll down the track.
Here's another angle. You see those snap rolls?
I counted 7 rollovers there before the car came to rest. This crash will undoubtedly end the career of Richard Petty, I would think. I would think the pressures from his family and so forth, and his medical condition. He's had half his stomach removed. with ulcer problems. He's had bones broken. And I would think that at 50, whatever it is, years of age, Richard Petty would start thinking seriously about retiring.
What do you think?
Chris, he might start thinking about it, but it's my opinion that we'll see him back out here again. I think that he'd want to prove to himself that he could still do it and that he could come back out. I think he wants to retire in a different way than as a result of an accident.
The long caution following the Petty crash lasted 45 minutes and 21 laps, bringing the average speed down to 155 miles per hour. After the race, Petty blamed the newly mandated carburetor restrictor plate for his spectacular crash. "It just kills the engines," Petty said. "There's no response. It's like pulling out on the interstate in a little four-cylinder car in front of a truck and then trying to accelerate." The restart lasted only until Derek Cope brought out yet another yellow flag, the 5th caution of the day. Let's head back to Daytona, where we've already seen 7 leaders and 14 lead changes. We rejoin the race with 68 laps to go, waiting for the green flag.
132 laps are down, getting ready to put this one back under green. Here are the leaders, 1 through 16 in the event, with Neil Bonnet out in front, Jeff Bodine in second, Bobby Allison third, Dale Earnhardt fourth, Harry Gant in fifth. In the second 5, Bill Elliott is there, followed by Davey Allison, Phil Parsons, Ricky Rudd, and Sterling Marlin in number 44 maintains 10th. Here's 68, Derek Cope back on pit road another time.
Well, in the top 5, the first and third place cars are those new downside General Motors products. Bonnet in the Pontiac and Allison in the Buick. Second, fourth, and fifth cars are those long Chevrolets of a few years old. It'll be interesting to see which of the body styles comes out on top today.
There were 21 laps under caution after that 6-car incident that destroyed Richard Petty's automobile. We're down for a start. Here we are under green once again after the 5th caution of the day. And on the break, Neil Bonnet's out in front. Raymock Racing Team have their colors on the point. There's Connie Saylor down on the inside, that number 95 Canadian driver, trying to get back in this thing.
It's Trevor Boyce.
I'm sorry, I mean Trevor Boyce. Connie Saylor was in the 99. Here's Davey Allison looking back at Phil Parsons from the bumper.
That thing looks awesome coming towards you, doesn't it?
It's like going to eat you up.
Yeah, looks like some sort of shark. Jaws right there. Phil Parsons, number 55, falling back just a little from Davey Allison now. Ground level coverage at 190 miles per hour. Live on CBS today as you're looking out of Davey Allison's car, running in 7th position. At the 8th position runner, Phil Parsons. And out of the front, he has his hands full with Bill Elliott.
Ford against Ford there.
Here's Davey trying to outside, working that draft. All important, that cushion of air that comes like the wake off a boat and ripples up off that concrete. And that's where the veterans, the experienced drivers, can see that magic barrier, and they can do just incredible things with a race car. Coming by to complete 135 laps, and Neil Bonnet stays out in front by 2 car lengths. Passing flag out on some of the slower cars. Here's Bodine looking like he wants to take a shot. Pretty late in the going. They may want to hold on to things. I would think Allison, if he has it, Bobby, in the number 12 car running third, would like to wheel around and get out in front, much like Darrell Waltrip described earlier. Get away from that field. And here comes Earnhardt in 4th spot, that number 3.
Earnhardt is measuring Allison. He's watching him very carefully. Earnhardt has been a very conservative driver today. I'm starting this new season with a new sponsor. He's in a black uniform. He's not the colorful, swashbuckling driver he was a year ago. But look at him now on the inside, underneath Bobby Allison, going for second.
Yeah, Allison picks up a spot. Earnhardt picks up 1, and he may cross the lead here. Got a man drafting with him, which I think is Dave Marcus, a lap down. Back they come to the Tri-Oval before a record crowd here at Daytona in the 30th annual 500 live on CBS. They muscle their way down into turn number 1 with Bonnet and Allison, 1-2, the Alabama gang, 1st and 2nd. And Davey Allison being shown in 7th. Earnhardt up to 3rd. Back straight away. 190 miles per hour. Into turn number 3. Bonnet with the lead. Let's see if Allison takes a shot at the lead right here on Neil. Neil Bonnet is taught how to drive by the man that's right behind him now, Bobby Allison. Look at Ken Schrader in a draft with car number 17. Darrell Waltrip pulling through traffic.
Darrell has been down there several times on the inside. He finally has someone to go with now, so he's able to pick up some speed.
Meanwhile, up in front, Bobby Allison goes for the lead, gets it. And here comes Earnhardt on the bottom. The B-1 Bomber, as the Childress crew calls it, has the radar on and finds second place.
Racing with his hunting buddy there, Neil Bonnet and Dale Earnhardt like to do a lot of hunting in the off-season.
Well, Allison has lived up to his pre-race predictions that he was going to control this race, and he's out there now. We're getting down close to the 400-mile mark with one scheduled pit stop to remain.
Back there in fourth is Bodine, the 86 champion. And Harry Gant is having just a great race in fifth spot. The Bandit right there lurking with Bill Elliott ready to challenge him for fifth. Behind those two comes Davey Allison. There's Davey Allison in that black Ford behind the red Ford, number 9. That's Elliott. Then comes Davey Allison. They're in 6th and 7th. And here comes Davey to the inside out of turn 2 off the 31-degree banking. Davey Allison, 26 years old, with a fantastic season last year, winning 2 Winston Cup races, wheel to wheel, with defending champion Elliott out of Dawsonville, Georgia.
Coming out of a wall crash of yesterday afternoon at 5 o'clock, he's doing very well today.
Doesn't bother him a lick. Here he is by Davey Allison, moving to 6. Elliott falling to 7th. Back to the line. Bobby Allison, his dad out in front. Earnhardt in 2nd. Bonnet in 3rd. Jeff Bodine 4th. And then the green car. That's Harry Gant in 5th. And here comes Earnhardt struggling on the inside, going for the lead. Here they are coming down out of the corner. It is Earnhardt going for first place, beginning to show the muscle of car number 3. It is a Chevrolet against a Buick. Here they come to the line. Crowd is on its feet, cheering at the stripe. They're going to make it 3 wide. Down to the inside. Here comes Bonnet. 3 deep going to turn number 1. Neil Bonnet, bottom of the racetrack. Swinging in the corner. Earnhardt right in the middle. Stuffs it in there.
If you don't believe Neil Bonnet will mix it up with you, just give him the opportunity. He seized it.
Here he comes. Back straight away. Bonnet wants first place from his old hunting pal. Neil laughs a lot. He says the only thing that he has not hit me with is the stuff we carry around while we're hunting. Let's see if they mix it up here. Bonnet on the inside, and his boon companion in the offseason, Earnhardt, on the outside, wheel to wheel at 190 miles an hour. You can't get it much better than this. Here's Waltrip moving. Oh, they touched for a moment. They just nipped each other. Bonnet looking over at Earnhardt and saying, no way am I going to let you take this without a fight. Back they go, and look at this tremendous assault. Earnhardt springs up the inside into the lead.
That's a side-by-side running, slows them down. It's amazing. Bonnet saw an opportunity. He grabbed it and took it, and Walter played back and let them slow down and then whipped by them to the lead.
That's right. They snapped the whip, and Earnhardt, or rather Waltrip here was on the end of it, and it thrust him into the lead.
Darrell Waltrip has the fastest car here today. He came from back in 17th position after this restart, worked his way up, as Chris pointed out, on the inside of the racetrack, staying right down on the bottom. He's going to be tough, folks.
Tell you what else is a little surprising is that car that came along up with him there. Take a look at that number 88. That's Buddy Baker. I think he may be knocked down, but he hauled right up through and stayed with him. They're still showing 3 Earnhardt as the second place car. Baker's number 88 is being shown at this time a lap down. At number 12, Bobby Allison's followed 5th. You don't think that's right, Ned?
No, I don't think Baker's a lap down. I think he's
right
place.
there. And indeed, NASCAR now agrees it's up on the board that he is into second place.
I tell you, this shows you the tremendous respect that these drivers have for one another to run so closely. They're inches apart at speeds of 190 miles an hour and above. Every one of these drivers is a true professional, skilled at his craft, believe me.
Waltrip never having won this race. And a lot of people put the mouth on him and said that he had trouble on the high-speed super speedways, forgetting the fact that he's won here on other occasions in the 125-milers, won the 400, won out here in the sportsman races. But right now, the 500 is on his mind, and at 191 miles an hour, he leads it with Buddy Baker, making a great showing in car number 88, coming up on the high side. In the 3rd spot, number 3, Earnhardt, right behind Baker, then Neil Bonnet. What a finish we're going to have here today. They're not letting Waltrip get away, Chris.
Oh, no, they're going to hook right on there and stay there. This is a long way from being over.
Chevy, 1 and 2. And then car number 88 stays right there in third spot. Buddy Baker's Oldsmobile hanging on the outside. And here comes out, and they touch. Baker nailing Earnhardt, or vice versa. Here they are back in the Tri-Oval. Over 100,000 in these grandstands coming to their feet as they saw that. The infield being told about it on the radio, and everybody is buzzing about that moment. Here they are still wheel to wheel, out of 2. Earnhardt low, Baker high. And Baker senses that this could be his day to win the Daytona 500. And here's Allison dropping all the way down on the apron, wheeling through cars. One car, Eddie Bierswale, running very slowly, and they just snowplow over him.
The drivers can't have got their feet to the floor. They're asking everything from the engine it can give. There's no breathing. They're all going to have leg cramps when this day is over.
Dale Earnhardt got a leg cramp in 20 laps in the clash that you saw last Sunday here on CBS as he went on to win from just leaving his foot flat up against the firewall. Well, you can imagine 500 miles of that kind of pressure here today. There's Waltrip. You see his advantage. Bobby Allison now in second, and guess who's in third? His son, Davey Allison. Hi, Dad. Pulling up on the rear. Here comes Bobby Allison for the lead, and you're watching it from Davey Allison's car. Going to turn 3. Bobby Allison takes command.
And every Alabama spectator is waving here at the track.
Here's Davey trying the outside. Darrell Waltrip down low. Well, what Darrell Waltrip wanted, to be out in front and run by himself, forget it.
Well, Bobby knows how to handle this car. He knows how to handle Darrell Waltrip. The question is, will he have the quality and the speed to do it when it's all over with? It's a little over 100 miles to go.
Father first, son third, Waltrip sandwiched in between at 190 miles an hour. How does it feel, Bobby Allison, to race with your son?
Well, I think it's neat, and there are a lot of pluses, and there are a few drawbacks to the thing, too. Davey is a delight to be around for me. I'm very proud of him. I enjoy his company. I enjoy his effort, personal effort in his racing activities. And it's a real thrill for me to see him do well. On the other hand, I have the concern that I think any father would have for their son, you know, whether it's a quarterback running in there and all those big guys jumping on him, or whether you're out there in a race car and you know, you have the potential for some sort of danger. But there's a third thing that comes into my picture too, when this father and son thing with Davey, and he's a real competitive pain. You know, he's another guy out there that really is a potential winner, and actually had 2 wins last year to my 1, and you know, is fast in the car, has a fast car, and he's fast in it. So he's a big threat competitively. So it's a triple deal for me, not just a double one.
That competitive pain is riding just about 2 car lengths behind his father. Most recent time, we had a father and son combination finish first and second in a Winston Cup race. July 1960. Lee Petty winner, Richard Petty second. And the only other time it happened was July 1959. Richard Petty flagged the winner of a 100-mile sweepstakes race, the old Lakewood Speedway in Atlanta, Georgia. Lee finished second, but protested the finish, and his son was set back a spot. Here comes Waltrip down to the inside. Darrell Waltrip in a snarl for first position. 157 laps complete. Here's Davey Allison's view of this struggle for supremacy in the 30th annual Daytona 500.
Now they're pulling away from the 4th place, and the rest of the cars behind them. This tremendous duel. We'll see now who has the muscle.
Incredible pictures. Now here's Earnhardt trying to move around Buddy Baker. That's the fight that's going on for 4th. Baker on the inside, Earnhardt on the outside. Interesting mix of cars up in those front positions. And there is number 75 running. And there's Elliott in the picture. And that's the battle that's going on for third. You're in for a remarkable finish in motorsports today in the great American race, the Daytona 500. Baker putting Earnhardt right to the wall as they continue to struggle for third spot. We'll be back with more of the action shortly from Daytona. After 166 of 200 laps, Darrell Waltrip was out in front on his way, hopefully, to his first Daytona 500 victory. Buddy Baker trying to repeat for a second time. Neil Bonnet running third. Rusty Wallace back to fourth. Ken Schrader to fifth. He has just pitted. Then Terry Labonte was in sixth. Sterling Marlin was in seventh. Florida's Rick Wilson in eighth. Bobby Hillen in ninth. And Dale Jarrett was up into the 10th position, having an outstanding day for Dale. Now there's the number 11 car, and that is Terry Labonte. Directly in front of him, the second place car of Rusty Wallace. That's the Junior Johnson, number 11. They had thin pickings last year. They're trying to get things together. And here comes the master of the economy run, number 17, Darrell Waltrip, still stretching out that tank. Mike Joy has more from the Waltrip pit.
A big conference going on right here as to when they will pit Darrell Waltrip. Mike Powell is the gas man. You know what you've got to do. You're the guy that can win this for your team. You can fuel that car quickly.
Yeah, it'll have to be. We'll have to not make any mistakes this time. So if everything goes good and we get this can in, we get the other one plugged in and go, then, you know, it ought to be pretty good. So
the big question, when will you bring them in?
Well, I'm not sure. Jeff hadn't said yet, so, you know, it'll be within the next few laps, I think. So, you know, we're gonna get ready, okay?
They let all their drafting partners stop without him. Rusty Wallace coming in right now. Jeff Hammond still working his computer, trying to figure gas mileage.
The longer they wait, they keep Waltrip out on the track, the less time he has to stay at rest while they put gas in. Then we have to put maybe 1.5 cans in or 1.25 cans in with the mileage in it, and that's going to be the difference.
Sixth place Ricky Rudd is on pit road right now. You're with him. You saw Marlin pit in the number 44 car, and Rusty Wallace was in. Waltrip leading Allison by about 36 seconds. Here's Rudd away. Boy, it's a little dusty down there today. We gave you the top 10. Let's take a look at the rest of the field at this juncture. Here's how they were. The rest of the field behind the top 10, then at 11 at 400 miles. That's how they were running. Waltrip stays out in front. Dale Jarrett is just pitting number 1 right now.
And he had gotten on the board for the first time ever in the Daytona 500, Ken. He'd moved up to 5th place before he made that pit stop.
How's that make a father feel?
Good. He gets a clean windshield, fill him up with gas, and change the angle on the spoiler a little bit, and send him on his way.
He's determined to be a 3-time champion just so he has one up on old Dad.
He has a long way to go. He does want to do it really bad.
And to win 50 times as you did? Well, looks a little like his father. Did you ever have a mustache, Ned?
No. Martha wouldn't let me.
Back on the track with car number 17, the leader. I'd like to hear from Jeff Hammond, and as to when he intends to bring that rascal in.
They're waiting, of course, for a yellow flag. That would make things a lot easier. But
he might be coming in this. No,
yeah.
He just runs down low on that racetrack anyway.
Here's Terry Labonte on pit road at number 11.
Quick stop for fuel.
And he'd been up to second place. Sterling Marlin's number 44. He is pitted. And there's Mike Waltrip running directly in front of his brother Darrell Waltrip. Mike Waltrip's having a very good run in that car, which was rented for him.
Here is Darrell Waltrip. The man is trying to win this race. Jeff Hammond has the signboard, steps out of the way. He's talked to each of these men individually and called in the play. Mike Powell in the blue goggles dumping in that first can of gas. They only need half of that second can. A gallon, 2, maybe 3, and Waltrip is away trying to win his first Daytona 500.
When Waltrip came to the pits, he had a 36-second lead on Bobby Allison right here.
Crash in the corner. It is Harry Gant's car that is wrecked just after Waltrip made that pit stop in turn 2. An 11-second pit stop by Darrell Waltrip. Harry Gant, it sure looks like he cut a tire down or got hit by someone. Never see him lose. He's still firing it up and trying to get it out of there. Harry Gantz, number 33, crashing on lap 176 of 200 in the Daytona 500.
Now we might see the leading drivers come back in the pits and get tires, and as Bobby Allison likes to put it, rebuild the car for the drive to the checker.
There'll be no rebuilding. The Hal Needham car, the Burt Reynolds Hal Needham number 33, savaged in turn number 2 in the 6th caution of the day here in the Daytona 500. There is some of the debris on the speedway. You run over that and you're going to be in tire trouble.
You certainly will, and most of them will come in, I think, Ken, and take on 4 tires. In fact, Darrell Waltrip is coming back into the pits right now.
So this is the break they were all looking for. It is the misfortune of Harry Gant that may cast an entirely new look on the finish of the Daytona 500 this year. We may finally have that 3-car assault across the line to decide the 500, similar to what we saw in 1959. But in that year, 1 car, Joe Weatherly, was a lap down when Lee Petty and Johnny Beauchamp rushed to the line, and they took 3 days to decide who finally won that race in a photo finish, back when photo finishes aren't quite what they are today.
Well, Davey Allison just won the race out of the pits. He beat Darrell Waltrip. Darrell going down pit road, following.
And Waltrip and Allison and Davey Allison each got 4 tires. So they're ready to go now with fresh tires, and the cars are all hepped up for the drive to the checker.
181 laps complete, less than 50 miles to go. 17 cars in the lead lap.
That's it, 17 cars on the lead lap. That is really remarkable.
But the speed is down to 137 miles per hour. Now, the record's 176.
Well, we had a half-hour hold under yellow there. You know, there are going to be people who don't like the restrictor plates, and there are going to be people who do like them. They have 17 cars in the lead lap at the finish of a 500-mile race like this. That's remarkable.
As we get set for the restart, here's how the cars are deployed. Phil Parsons is in first. Perched on his rear bumper is Davey Allison second. Waltrip third. In fourth is Bobby Allison. In fifth is Buddy Baker. In sixth, Dale Earnhardt. Seventh is Terry Labonte. Going eighth is Ken Schrader. Ninth is Sterling Marlin. 10th is Rusty Wallace. 11th, Bodine out there. Then 12th is Neil Bonnet. Bill Elliott is back in 13th. Ricky Rudd is in 14th. And Dale Jarrett is in 15th. Showing in the 16th position is Bobby Hillen, and in 17th position Rick Wilson, all in the lead lap. 17 cars to decide the Daytona 500 this afternoon.
And it'll be 18 laps to go when they take the green flag.
Phil Parsons brings them down. His best 500.
More than a quarter of the starters, more than 25% of the starters have led this race, 12 and 42.
Here they are on the break, coming to the line. On the break, Phil Parsons steady into turn 1. Davey Allison there. Waltrip in third. I would think Waltrip's confidence level is very, very high.
Goes right down the bottom of the track.
They put on their best set of tires, filled him up with gasoline, and here comes Bobby Allison, 2 of the fastest cars we've seen during speed weeks here. Allison going to make a move for it.
The winner of the 125-mile qualifiers, Allison and Waltrip, go for it.
That's got to be a psychological blow to Waltrip.
We'll see. Here he is on the outside trying to take some room back. Davey Allison gets into it. 3 cars for the Llewellyn.
Where Davey Allison is, he's helping down.
Yeah, he's moving up behind. Yeah, when he moves up there, that helps Darrell a little bit, but maybe Davey's car won't work down low, but Bobby's doing okay on his own.
Bobby Allison goes out in front, still even. And there's the view from Davey Allison of this battle for the Daytona 500.
Now he's down giving Dad a boost.
And Dad takes advantage of it. Gets out in front by about 4 feet. Waltrip comes back. But no, these 2 cars in the bottom of the track look like they're going to go home.
Well, Davey's the key right here as to who's going to lead this race. As to who he gets behind.
By staying behind his father, he pulls up. He goes to second. Dad goes out in front. Waltrip falls to third. And Darrell Waltrip needs to get that new daughter Jessica out here in the car right off.
So long, Daddy. Look at Bobby go.
Bobby Allison's wife, Judy, looking on here, pretty excited. Trouble on pit road. Earnhardt is in. Dale Earnhardt in number 3. Pulls on pit road. Something amiss there.
Apparently a tire went down on the car.
So once again, the effort by Earnhardt to turn it around and win this race will come up short.
had so many late race troubles here at Daytona. It's unbelievable, never having taken the 500.
An excellent pit stop, Ken. Less than 12 seconds for the Richard Childress crew to change that tire. He'll stay in the lead lap.
Earnhardt's been here since 1970, still trying to win, 79 and trying to win it. Ran out of fuel in 86 when he thought he had it in his pocket, and Jeff Bodine came home. Jeff Bodine felt differently. Stevie Waldrop, mother of 5-month-old Jessica, looking on. From behind Davey Allison's car. That's what you see, and Waldrop is falling further back, as you see.
Yes, he is.
Darrell Waldrop is falling back. Baker pulling up. Parsons pulling up.
Now, and Davey's going to take on his father before this one is over. It'll be interesting to see how he handles Dad.
I think he would like to sit there for a little while and try to pull themselves away from the rest of the field, but Buddy Baker is having nothing to do with that. He wants to pull back up on him.
Yeah. Buddy Baker was the one who apparently got Davey Allison into the wall yesterday in that late practice section.
There you see the interval between that pack of 5 automobiles running for the lead. And as they stand now, it's Bobby Allison in first, Davey Allison in second. How about this? Buddy Baker in third, Phil Parsons in fourth. And as they come to the line, a caution is coming out. A caution is on the track.
Debris somewhere on the racetrack.
They say there's some metal or something on the racetrack, and they want to bring them in. That brings out the 7th caution of the day.
13 laps remain.
Turn 4 is where they say the debris is.
Break for Dale Earnhardt. He didn't lose a lap a moment ago, had to make that unscheduled pit stop, but now he'll get to catch back up.
There are 189 laps complete, 11 laps to go. Grant Knowlton, Halifax Hospital, reports on Richard Petty, no broken bones. Repeating, no broken bones. Quote by Petty to the doctors and nurses down there, hey, if there was a long enough caution flag, maybe we could get back and finish the race.
How about that?
He'll be at Richmond next Sunday.
You bet. But not in that car. That's about as badly as we've seen the car beaten up in a long time. Here are the standings. 188 of 200 laps complete. Allison first and second. Buddy Baker now third. Parsons fourth. Labonte fifth. Second 5. Bonnet, Schrader, Marlin. And there's Waldrop back in 10th.
And Dale Earnhardt in 15th position. He did move up to the back of the pack. Let's see him come through. You know he's going to.
Well, you know it's going to be exciting up front for my nickel. I'd love to watch Earnhardt for a while. He's going to be something as they come out. 10 to go. 10 to go. There's Earnhardt's car, the number 3. Trying to get a report on Harry Gant's car on the number 33 if we can from the pits. It's exactly what happened to Harry out there. That was a hard crash on Harry Gant earlier. But they took out the Hal Uniberg under green. Back for the finish. 10 laps. It's a sprint. 25 miles to decide it all this afternoon for $1.5 million. Bobby Allison goes out in front. Davey Allison in second. Pulling up in the back straightaway. Getting to full speed. Bobby Allison jumps out in front by 8 car lengths. Now down to 2 car lengths, Chris.
That's good. Heavy traffic back there. There's no room for the drivers who have the power to get through.
Baker won't let go.
Baker's a master at drafting, and he likes high-speed racetracks. He loves the Daytona International Speedway. Has a lot of miles here.
Buick first, Ford second. Oldsmobile running in third, Chevrolet fourth. And you talk about product mix. Hello. Here they are, back to the line. 9 laps to go.
Allison. Davey is right on his father's back bumper. He's not letting him pull away this time.
Well, he said right along, if I ever got the chance, the one guy I want to beat my dad, he'll never be prouder. I don't know how his mother, her husband Judy's going to feel about that, but they're down to it. Father and son. First and second, Daytona 500. What a remarkable race it is. Richard Petty is all right. He'll be back in level cross tonight.
And here comes Baker.
Buddy Baker mixing it up. Another great racing family. His dad, a great champion for many years, goes into second.
He really made a quick move into that third turn.
Some power there. Bodine running side by side further back, I believe, with Bill Elliott as they come back to the stripe. Indeed, that's the case. There you see them still side by side. And 8 laps to go.
Buddy's measuring Bobby now.
All right, experts. They say experts are local boys away from home. Mr. Economaki from Ridgewood, New Jersey. How do you feel about the decision on this one?
Well, I don't know. The owner of that number 88 car is a neighbor of mine. My emotions are mixed here. I picked Bobby Allison to win.
Getting down to the finish. Guess who's going to be back here to see it? Richard Petty has been released from the hospital. He's on his way back to the track after that terrible crash. Judy Allison looking on. Status right now as they come down out of turn 4.
Unbelievable. Look what happened to Baker when he got out of line.
Back to the lead comes Bobby Allison, seeking his third Daytona 500 win. Into second, his son, and then Phil Parsons is back to third, and Baker has fallen all the way back in that draft.
Boy, if you get out of the line, you certainly can go back in a hurry.
Back straightaway to the inside. Parsons taking a shot and moving up through. Boy, Phil Parsons is having an excellent run in this Daytona 500. Phil Parsons has only been in 4 previous races. His best finish, 11th twice. Now running in third, but he could be back to 11th or 14th at any moment in this crowd. 6 laps to go, this time by. Nobody's sitting down. It's turning into a dream race here in the Daytona 500.
Less than 90 seconds ago, Buddy Baker was trying for the lead. He's back in 11th place now.
Wow. It doesn't take long once you get out of line. They'll just motor right on by you with the freight train.
Again, repeating, the good news is Richard Petty, after a disastrous crash in which he rolled over some 7 times in turn number 4, has been released from the hospital here in Daytona Beach. And the Grand Master, the King, is on his way back to the Daytona track where he won this race 7 times. No one's come close. Cale Yarborough won it 4. Cale crashed today as well, if you're just joining us. And now we're down to this finish. 5 laps to go. The Alabama gang out in front. Bobby first, Davey second. Phil Parsons doing beautifully. And let's not discount the number 11, driven by Terry Labonte. And there's the number 17 of Waltrip back in there, trying to find some way to get sorted out. But time is running out for him.
It's a 13-car draft for this win here. But it looks as though Bobby Allison is absolutely in control, and he's got his defender on his back bumper.
There's Labonte lurking 4th, and then Bonnet back there in 5th as the laps run down. Davey Allison said the other day, I keep getting taught valuable lessons, and I want to keep them to myself. I could pass 3 or 4 cars in the corner. That's where I'd get stopped. I couldn't get back in line after I'd passed 3 or 4 cars. He says we can't pass anyone on the straightaways. There's not many people here who can, so you can look for him to make a move, I would say, going to 3 on his father.
On the last lap.
On the last lap.
Well, I don't think he'll try it before then.
The problem, though, if he makes a move on his father, doesn't make it, he'll drop to 3rd because whoever's right behind him will take 2nd place.
Yeah, but who cares about 2nd? Well, they all care about 1 spot, and here it comes. There'll be 3 laps to go, this time by. Here's how they run across the line. Allison, Phil Parsons, Terry Labonte, Neil Bonnet. In 6th, Ken Schrader, Rusty Wallace. In 7th, Sterling Marlin. In 8th, Darrell Waltrip. In 9th, Buddy Baker. In 10th now, Bill Elliott, last year's winner in 11th. And Dale Earnhardt back inside of Davey Allison's car as we get down to decide it this afternoon. You're riding with the 2nd place campaigner, the Harry Ranier Lundy car. That team won it twice with a CBS onboard camera with Cale Yarborough driving. Ranier, you saw him in those pictures earlier after the car brushed the wall in turn 2 late yesterday. They worked through the night, got it back together. It's running 2nd. Here they come to the stripe. And there are 2 laps remaining.
5 miles.
Here you are with Davey Allison in that 2nd position. Bobby Allison stays up in front.
And they're beginning to mix it up back there at the back of that pack. All of those drivers battling for position as well.
They realize there's some extra pickings further back, and that Bobby Allison is doing what he predicted he would do. Run this car hard and keep it out in front. Davey Allison not relinquishing anything to his father. Stays right with him. Judy Allison looking on as her husband and her son battle it out in the $1.5 million Great American Race. Out of turn number 4. Here's Bobby Allison, the two-time champion. What must be going through his mind right now?
Here's the white silk from Harold Kinder.
Last lap. Parsons lies third. Texas Terry Labonte is in fourth. Neil Bonnet, the third member of that Alabama gang, back in fifth. And those two leaders draw away a bit. Davey Allison coming after his father. Looks down inside as they take it high in turn number 2. Back straight away, final time to decide it all here this afternoon.
Now, Davey, what are you going to do?
He's got less than half a lap to do it.
And they have enough lead. I believe this is going to be a battle between the father and son. I don't think anybody else can try it, but here he comes. He's going to do it.
To the bottom. He's down low. Bobby Allison high. Davey Allison trying the inside move. Bobby Allison holds him off. They come to the stripe. And the winner of the 30th annual Great American Race, Bobby Allison. Davey Allison, his son, in second. Judy Allison ecstatic. What a tremendous family performance.
Look at him, Bobby waving to Davey.
I went down low and ran for him, but he was too strong.
Did you hear Davey saying, I made a try for him at turn 4, but he was too strong?
Well, those fans that David Hobbs interviewed at the first of the race said, I think it'll be the Alabama gang. Here they are.
The Alabama gang has conquered the Daytona 500 in its 30th running. Stock car folks will tell you that their sport is a family game. The Daytona 500 has certainly been that. As we see the final standings, Bobby Allison being pushed into victory lane. Mike Joy is standing by. They're a top 5. Here comes the winner, Bobby Allison, for the third time in his career, averaging 137 miles an hour. Let's go to Mike Joy standing by with the winner.
Bobby Allison, 3 Daytona 500s and a father-son finish.
Oh, man, I'll tell you, this Stavola Brothers Miller Buick really ran good. I'm telling you, Mike, what a thrill for me, what a thrill. I'll tell you, these guys have just been great for me, Jimmy Finnegan, Keith Allman, and I'm going to tell you what, my parents are a real inspiration to me, and I'll tell you, it's just been a great day.
Your sister watching at home, lying ill, your son right behind you and riding alongside on that victory lap. What could be better than this?
I'll tell you, that was great. And Davey did such a great job, especially after getting the car wrecked so bad yesterday at the end of practice. I got to give a lot of credit to the whole Rainier crew, and I'll tell you, Davey did a great job.
And so did you. Congratulations, Bobby Allison.
The 1988 Daytona 500 was the first race run under NASCAR's new carburetor restriction rule. Although the average speed was 137 miles per hour, the slowest since 1960, it was one of the most competitive Daytona 500s in recent years. After the race, the younger Allison was asked if he ever considered settling for second and following the old man home. Never, Davey replied. I didn't even think of him as my dad until after the checkered flag fell. Upon hearing his son's comments, Bobby said, it shows how well he's learned. With the victory, the Allison family set 2 racing records. Bobby became the first driver over 50 to win a 500-mile event, and together, the Allisons became the first ever father-son combo to finish 1-2 in a major 500-mile race. And if you're wondering how King Richard was feeling after his big crash, he returned the following week to compete in the NASCAR Pontiac 400.